as a Barchie, since I'm just gonna launch right into episode six,
Let's
I
do it.
enjoyed everything about episode six for them. They gave you so many flavors. We got concerned Barchie, we got battle couple Barchie, I guess in a way. I mean, they were a team up. And Betty finally took the leap. She was like, let's do this. Let's be together. Let's figure it out. Like us against the world, Archie. And I was happy.
I'm so here for Super Barchi too,
Yes.
guys. Like, but I love that like Archie's becoming who he always thought he was, like Superman, invincible, and Betty's like also becoming like who she thought she was, where she can like sense like people's bad energy, and she's like, like that crime solving machine. And then like Jughead's just like lost his hearing.
I know.
It's
Poor
like,
Jughead.
is he becoming who he always was, which is like he doesn't listen to anybody? I don't, is like that, is that the theme that we're gonna find out? Like they all like have like these self-fulfilling prophecies kind of.
It's
Oh,
like
that's a nice
it's like
idea.
it's like in Smallville when they all became metas or like meteor freaks, and like not all of them got powers anyone would want. Per Jughead's literally got the thing that doesn't help him in the slightest.
I I was like waiting. I was like, what's gonna be like the twist on this? Because Archie was like, oh, I'm 30 pounds heavier, and Betty was like, I don't know what she was thinking, but
She's like, I see red.
yeah. And then like Jughead just like can't hear, and I was like waiting for like the upside, and
There was
he
none.
was just like, I can't hear you.
I
Poor
feel
guy.
like that's gonna anger the Jughead stands.
Oh,
Which,
always.
fair, because I mean, Bargy are basically living their best lives right now. Also, does everyone know Bargy is a thing? Because they did not, like, she was chilling on the couch with Veronica as if, and Veronica was like, yeah, because you were up in Archie's bedroom. I was like, okay, are we gonna ask why?
And then Jughead was at the table with them like the morning after, like whatever, talking about the
Mhm.
explosion. I was like, does everybody know like why Barchi was in that bedroom?
I know.
That was my issue with the episode because everyone like my issue sometimes we lose the character moments, and I feel like that was a character moment that's been building towards for so long. Let Barchi know that Barchi's or let everyone know that Barchi's a thing, and they didn't. And I feel like they've danced around it so long that would have been this big moment, and yet for the sake of the story they had to skip over that. And I feel like that would have had helped the characters, it would have helped the story. But because Riverdale's got such a off the wall reputation, we focused on the off the wall story instead and let the characters down. I'm glad they had that nice moment for all the Barchi fans out there. I'm glad you got that nice moment at the end, but it took an awful long time to get to there because everyone was like, "Oh yeah, big no, we almost died, no big deal. Like what's happening to us? I don't really know. Oh, we're together by the way." And so it kind of just went around in circles. I'm glad on paper everything was fine, but I think it could have been executed a little tighter.
Yeah, I think I agree, but I'm also wondering if they'll circle back to it because there is that weird in the opening, that weird moment where Archie and Betty are looking at each other and Frank is looking at them and they're all like avoiding looking at Jughead. And I'm like, so all three of y'all know why she was up in that bedroom, but Jughead doesn't seem to know that as
he
they
can't
I
he
was
can't hear.
I
He
was
can't
just
hear
gonna
them.
say
Oh no, I guess okay. But so do we think they'll circle back though? Like I feel like they need to.
I'm sure it'll all come to a head at some point. They don't seem to be too concerned, the characters, about that. They've got a lot going on.
Mhm. I want them to be concerned just a little bit. I just want some yelling. Like I just want someone to have not be against Barchi, but I mean they spent so much time with this man being upset that she cheated on him in high school. That to the point where we were drunk about it and fell down a sewer. So I just feel like we need to exercise that demon. And then like Barchi can move forward, even though they're gonna move forward regardless.
Beyond
yeah.
chips, I need to bring something up that's been like weighing on me since I watched the episode, which was in the beginning when Molly Ringwald, Mary, I'll stop calling her Molly Ringwald, when Mary comes and she sees the house and she like breaks down and she's like, how did you live? And then like 4 seconds later, she's like, I know, it was your dad. And then it was the Riverdale credit. And I was like, pause. Why was that the important part? Because usually when they do the credit, it's like an important like cliffhanger. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
are we coming back to Fred? Because we never circled back to like Fred's spirit saving Archie. Was that just Mary having a moment? Was that a way to keep Fred alive? I don't know. I just really didn't. I didn't. That was one moment that I was like, usually when they mention something in shows, it means something. It's foreshadowing. It's not by mistake, but it does seem like Riverdale does tend to kind of like mention things and forget. Not to shade them.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I thought that was of course, it was lovely of why they did it. It was a nice way to keep Fred's memory alive. But it's like in Riverdale, everything means something. And this episode is finally, I feel like we need to talk about that. It's edged into the supernatural territory after all this time, after playing with us for so long. It's finally going there. So were they trying to hint at something there? Did it mean something more? Or is that just that nice, oh, he was watching over you that Riverdale would do any other day of the week? But I'm just not sure that kind of merged with the whole supernatural tone they were going for. Maybe there's a reason for it in the end. I don't think they should do that. They should stay away from that because that's a nice tribute to Fred to keep him alive spirit-wise. Don't add that into the whole I'm Abigail spirit kind of story. We don't need that. So the two images didn't quite go together, even though I see what they were trying to do. But it's definitely, things have gotten darker, things have gotten more supernatural. I feel like somewhere along the line the writers have said, okay, we're tired of making Archie Batman, let's turn him into Superman instead. And we're going there. I feel like Betty's powers, if you can even call them that, are more her thing. I could definitely have seen that happening in previous Riverdale episodes. I'm not sure making Archie invincible is going to make it more interesting. But I'm on board with it and we'll see how it goes.
Two thoughts. So the way, my theory of how they're connecting Rivervale and Riverdale beyond Rivervale's Jughead calling Betty to like, you need to get out the house, the bomb's about to go off. If we think back to Archie's serial killer motivation in Riverdale, it was because he wanted to see his dad again. So to join the two worlds, you'd have a moment where perhaps Rivervale's Fred did actually come back, like just a spirit thing, in the same way that I think perhaps why they're super Barchie is because in the Riverdale universe there was the whole nod to comics, and so now you have them as superheroes. Like I think they're being a little meta. So like Riverdale's Archie would have gotten the thing that he wanted, and that somehow saved Riverdale's Archie. And thankfully his dog. I mean, geez.
I know. I was like, why did you have to do that to the dog? The dog has powers, so
he's a super dog. He's super Bingo, which is
but at
really
first
cute.
I was like, who is Bingo? I completely forgot about Bingo. He's just like looking on, he's like, Bingo. And I was like, Bingo.
And then the dog didn't even appear.
No, he didn't. I mean, hopefully he appears next episode. Second thought, it was about Super Barchie, but more so in the sense of them being of Betty's powers. I mean, I would consider them to be real. They're passive, I guess. And they're also a way for her to continue to be a superwoman, since we now have an all-female FBI team. She handled Glenn, then Archie handled Glenn, which I knew that, like, I was like, yeah, when he said it, when it was clear at the table, he was going to do it. But by the end of the episode, I was like, no, Betty handled it. We don't need to, we don't need to wreck Glenn. And I think it's just another way for Archie to fly off the handle when he has the ability to do something.
Abuse his powers.
Yeah, literally.
He's like, I can punch people and not get hurt. This is my dream. He was like, where was this when I fought the bear?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you mentioned how everyone handled Glenn, and then we of course have to mention TBK, who then handled Glenn as well. That was an unusual ending. Is that nice the end of Glenn? Is that the end of Glenn as we know him? Will there be more to this story? Where is TBK coming from? Why is that like spilled over like a season and a half without any kind of resolution? It's pretty weird.
And
it is very weird. Well, especially because the motivation.
Betty, yeah. I was like, they're obsessed with Betty. It was like, why are all the serial killers obsessed with Betty? Can this girl be set free?
It seems like not. Like she's just always going to be happy to deal with serial killers.
Town. She's Sydney Prescott, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
It's from Scream.
Oh yeah,
I understood that reference.
Anyway, okay. Here's a question I have. Do we think that Hiram is really dead?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
No. I don't either, and I want to say I want to fully commit to the no, but in previous years, I feel like Riverdale has done the thing you've been waiting for quite flatly. And I hope this isn't that example. I hope this isn't an example of them doing something that people have been waiting to say. Not that we're all psychotic and want to see Hiram dead. That's not what I mean. But I feel like everyone has wanted to see Hiram get some kind of payback. And then they gave him that big dramatic soap opera exit, which, well, I'm sorry, I hate Hiram, but that was badass. Exit in season 5. And then in season 6, they killed him off screen. I think that would be so flat. It would be such a letdown. Like, you literally could have done this in the season 5 finale. And any other show, that would be proof that he's not dead. But I just get this feeling that sometimes Riverdale tends to let you down. With, I thought that the way they handled Jughead's death in season 4 was a complete letdown. So I hope they don't do the same here and just quietly shuffle him off screen.
It just seems like a way to handle that storyline in a way with some closure, because we need Hiram to get some kind of whatever was coming to him. But it does feel like to do it off screen feels like a way to like bring him back in a final season.
In a very dramatic way. I fully expect to be like, Mia, you thought you got rid of me.
Yeah, like cut to black series finale.
Yes.
I want that.
Oh God, I do too. It'd be actually really fun, like for him to appear in the final episode, or quite at the end of the final episode of the entire series, and then you're like, not him again. Like, yes, him again.
You can't go out with dealing with him one more time.
I mean, I also want Veronica's heart not to be broken. Like, she doesn't need blood on her hands.
No. They've toyed with her emotions and what side of the fence she's on too much. And I'm not sure we needed to go there again. Oh, it was very effective, but I feel like, hasn't this woman been through enough? Stop making her put herself through these things.
True.
I felt like it was really quick for her to be like making the phone call to put a bounty on her father. And then out of nowhere, Reggie's dad has a heart attack and she goes to visit him and sees that Reggie changed his feelings about his dad, because we know his dad was abusive. I don't really care about Reggie's dad, to be honest with you. But that's great that he repaired his relationship and he was like, oh, I see the light. And I felt like it was really a quick way for Veronica to be like, oh crap, I shouldn't kill my dad.
And an Riverdale nod.
Yeah, I was like, it feels a little quick. I see that it just seems like she got from point A to point B very quickly. And I don't know if it was effective for me as a viewer.
Yeah, it was like they only had like 5 scenes to work, or 3 scenes. I don't know how many it was. And just to say, okay, we can only make this happen. The arc was fine, but how quickly it was executed, I thought, let that down.
Yeah, it just felt like there was something for her to do in this episode, that since Betty, Archie, and Jughead were dealing with powers, like, well, what does Veronica do? Because she wasn't anywhere near the Andrews residence. So like, oh, we'll have her put a hit on her father and then immediately regret it. And then now she has to deal with that death. And also Hermosa is yelling at her over the phone.
Give her a break. You see what I mean?
But Hermione dancing on his grave is going to be fun.
Yeah. I do think that Veronica will come out of the series as one of the heroes. I'm just going to say it. It just feels like it's what's right and what's going to happen.
Yeah, okay. I could see that. They've toyed with whether she's the villain too much. So I feel like if they ever want to like subvert expectations, make her the hero of the story instead, because like she's done some dark stuff over the years.
But she always has like a good reason.
Definitely.
Like, she's never just like, I'm bored, I'm going to kill someone. I don't think she has killed anybody, but like I don't think she's ever just like doing things. Like, she did that because he tried to hurt people that she cared about. So she was like, obviously this man needs to be stopped.
Yes. And like when you look at the damage that was done in Archie's house, I mean, they kind of zipped past that besides Mary crying, but that was intense.
Devastating.
It was intense. Like it was a lot. So of course she'd be like, he needs to be taken out. I just don't think it needed to be her.
And it always falls on her to like deal with her dad or to like take the action. It always seems to fall on her, unfortunately. But she does seem to like enjoy taking that powerful, like take the lead on doing some action and like finding a resolution. Whereas like you can never really wrangle Archie. Betty's always being like, she's looking into the logistics. whatever Jughead's doing, I don't know what he's up to ever, but
Do we think that they might let us know whether or not Hiram is still alive through the Ghoulies, since they had that whole scene with Tangs and Twyla Twist about how she was like, he's still paying us. So
I don't think we're gonna find out.
okay. So they'll just randomly have money then, or maybe it's an account that just drops money in
They're probably
week.
working with Hermosa, right?
No, they were working with Hiram, and that's their good. And that's
But she was really mad about Hiram dying.
she was, but Hiram was the one who was paying the Ghoulies.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe she'll take over his empire.
Ooh,
Just to make people think that he's gone.
I like that. Sneaky.
Well, that's what the lodges are.
Yes, very true. Before we wrap up for this episode 6, we do have to mention Cheryl. And I guess do a little bit of a dive with the Abigail possession thing. It wasn't as bad as Veronica's plot, but I was like, I'm not sure. I mean, Madeline's going to hit it out of the park regardless, but I'm a little lost about what the Blossoms are doing over there now.
I didn't see it coming.
No.
When she was blowing out the candles, I was like, oh, she did it. She fixed everybody. And then she turned around and looked stunning, by the way.
Yes.
The dress, the makeup, the hair. Oof, it was amazing. But I was like, oh, okay, so we're really doing this. And now I understand the poster.
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere, and I feel like that was one of the better moments of the episode. That genuinely, like, we've talked about how Superman and Lois makes us all go, but that was definitely one of those moments.
Yeah.
And it kind of added an extra layer to the story, because I was like, where are we going with this? Because a whole episode went round in circles about it. And then when Berta started speaking in the like supernatural voice, I was like, whoa, hold the phone. And the fact now that Cheryl's, who is trying to stop it, has fallen victim to it. I'm interested to see where it goes. And like you said, Madeline's going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, go ahead.
It puts into perspective that picture that we saw from episode 7 of her talking to Tony. Like, that's not Cheryl. Now, like, we have context for that. Like, that's not Cheryl talking to Tony.
No, it's not. It's Abigail. And interesting that you guys, this is the part that you guys really enjoyed, because I only like the end part of it. I mean, I like elements of it only because I felt like it's so disconnected from the rest of the episode. But that kind of is how they write Cheryl anyway. But by the end, I was invested because, again, like you said, when she blew out the candles and you were like, wait a second, that's Abigail, like, oh, this is coming full circle. I don't really know how, I'm not sure how I feel about Britta, but like, or Nana Rose for that matter, but I really enjoy Cheryl, and I'm ready for this witch moment with Abigail and how it is going to affect everybody else. And she is out here lying and scheming.
Yeah, I feel like they're starting to turn Nana Rose into like Penelope, because you never really knew what side she fell on. And now it feels like, whereas Nana Rose was kind of always on Cheryl's side. So that was a little bit disappointing to me to see that she's like going backwards and forwards here and picking her own side and manipulating everybody else. But like, it led to that awesome moment in the end. So I'll roll with it and see how it goes.
Okay. And same. So I'm excited for episode 7 because Hermione is going to dance on Hiram's grave, and that'll be fun to watch. But also, I'm not sure when Barchie Babygate is happening, but I want to know whether or not that is actually their pregnancy test that they are looking at in the photo that Roberto released.
Or if it is a pregnancy test.
True.
It's interesting to have that in the back of our minds that that's coming, because it doesn't feel like that's a natural progression to where they are in episode 6. I'm like, how do you get from we have powers to let's have a baby?
True.
Or like, I don't know, right? I don't know.
No, you're correct, because I'm assuming we're going to get some episodes between Unbelievable, which is the title of the episode 6, and whatever is happening with that maybe pregnancy test, because they have to get there naturally, at least naturally enough for Riverdale. We know that they put them on the fast train, like a lot of the couples go onto the fast train, but it'll be interesting to see how they make that leap. I know one of the like sweetest moments in the episode is Betty saying that she wants them to be together. And perhaps as we keep going forward, they might speed them through different life, maybe not choices, but discussions about what they want for their relationship and their future together. And that is how we end up at the maybe pregnancy test, or it's a pregnancy scare. And they're trying to decide, are we ready for a perhaps super baby? I mean, it depends whether or not they still have their powers.
They're gonna be the Incredibles.
Yes.
Who needs Superman at Lois when you have Betty and Archie?
Oh my God, like retweet. But also I still love Superman and Lois, but I mean, that just made my heart so full and warm. Yay.
But I feel like, not to jump the gun, I know we're talking about the baby, but they're gonna lose the powers, right? Because Cheryl's not gonna be Abigail forever. Like, they're gonna find a way to break the spell.
In the worst possible way. Like, Archie's gonna get beat up really terribly when he tries to confront somebody.
Yeah, and Jughead will be able to hear again.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like it's an interesting direction to go, and the episode had a lot of ups and downs, but all in all, that's basically Riverdale in a nutshell. I thought it was a solid way to come back, and I'm more excited for it now than I was when Riverdale started, because I didn't know what to make of that. So all in all, I'm very, very excited for where the story's going.